All right, let's chat about the first trimester. So after hearing other people's stories, I'm pretty sure that I had a really great first trimester. I did also put in the conscious effort to make it great. So I wanted to share some of the stuff I did. So when we first found out that we were pregnant, we had sold the unit we were living in. We'd sold all our furniture. We'd moved into the ute. We were living in a ute with a rooftop tent and had plans to travel Australia. And then, so we did that in November. We hung around the Gold Coast for a bit because we had a few things on. And then we went down to Tasmania in December. We spent like 5 weeks in Tassie. It was awesome, had the best time. While we were over there, we had a group coaching call with one of our friends who is psychic. And she actually said to us, hey guys, if you're not expecting, use protection, because there's a little girl, like there's a baby girl there knocking on the door, like knock, 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 mum and dad, I'm here. And so we were like, far out, okay, we need to be more careful. Bit of background, I have been tracking my cycle for years, haven't had any hormonal birth control because I just was really unhappy with the effect it was having on my body. The pill, yes, it made my boobs grow, which was fun, but it also made me really depressed. So I kicked that to the curb years ago, and I've just been tracking my cycle. I use an app called Flow. And yeah, so we were like, okay, we need to be more careful. And I guess the moral of the story is, guys, the pull-out method is ineffective. So just a warning. But yeah, so probably like a week later, my period was like a day late. So I thought, oh, all right, I'll pee on a stick. Anyway, I did not think I was pregnant at all. Anyway, found out I was pregnant and went into complete panic because I was like, oh my God, I've just sold everything I own. I've just sold all my furniture, my unit thing. I sold my car. Like I'd literally sold everything, and I was like, oh my gosh, what now? Like this is the worst timing. Anyway, so I ended up telling Brad later that day. I will share his reaction video as well as a separate video. But yeah, I surprised him later that day. It was the day after his birthday, and we were both like excited, but also like, oh my gosh, what does this mean? Like, what do we do now? Do we continue traveling, or do we go like settle down and get jobs and be responsible? And yeah, it was just this really confusing time. And I think we both spent like the first 2 months in shock and feeling really like unsure and uncertain about what to do now. In terms of my experience, so when I found out I was pregnant, I was 4 weeks, it was pretty early. And I went to a GP, got a blood test because I was vegan at the time. I still am pretty much. I do have eggs occasionally, like once every few months, which is a new thing. I just started craving when I was pregnant. So I was like, I'm going to listen to my body. But yeah, so when I got a blood test just to check all my levels, make sure I was all good, everything was fine. And we decided to continue traveling in the ute for a while, see how we felt. We traveled through Vic and New South Wales as well. In terms of like sickness, when I woke up, I did feel a bit nauseous. And what I did is I changed up my routine. So prior to falling pregnant, I was getting up, working out in the morning, then having brekkie, getting ready for the day and going traveling. So what I did is I just mixed things around a bit. So when I first woke up, I'd have like an apple or a piece of bread or just something in my belly. And then sometimes a muesli bar. I just put something in my belly first, and then I would do my workout. Not always, like if I just felt like going for a walk, I'd just do that. And I found that just that little change helped me a lot. One thing that's really important is mindset. So I really made a conscious effort every day when I woke up. I told myself, I feel great. I feel great. I feel great. there's times I can recall where I'm like got my hair tied back in a bush feeling like I was about to be sick, and Brad's going, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I feel great. Like, maybe a bit of denial, but it worked. So I only spewed, I think 3 times, and they were all like self-inflicted in terms of like one time I ate an apple because I thought I was hungry and I just felt so sick after it. So I just spewed it back up and then felt way better. So yeah, I suppose I never really had morning sickness as such. I did feel nauseous at times, and because we were driving a lot as well, that did come on a bit. What I did is I just asked myself, like, what do I need right now? Do I need to close my eyes and have a rest? Do I need water? Do I need food? Do I need a snack? Most of the time I just needed to eat something, and then it seemed to settle my stomach and I felt better. Otherwise, if we were driving, I would close my eyes for a bit, take some deep breaths. Breathing is so important. But yeah, it was a lot of, another thing I wanted to share around like mindset is, in the beginning, you can imagine I had a lot of people giving me their input, giving me their experience. You know, like for example, someone said to me, oh, have you been throwing up? Have you been sick? And I went, no, I've actually been pretty good. And this was at maybe like 7 weeks. I was like, no, I've been pretty good. I've only spewed like once or twice. And the person said to me, oh, you just wait, you'll be so sick. And I was like, no. So what I do is, in my head, if someone would say a negative belief or a negative statement, I would reject it. So I'd be like, I reject that. I did start saying it out loud because I was getting frustrated. But I think that's the thing. You don't have to take on someone else's belief. If someone says to you, oh, hey, you're going to get really sick when you hit 10 weeks, you are literally going to be waiting for that and then start feeling sick. Like, you can reject that. You can reject that statement and you can decide, no, I actually feel great. Even with like the doctor going, oh yeah, like the typical amount of weight to gain. And I was like, no, I don't need to hear it. My body, I will eat when I'm hungry. I'll eat for the baby. My body will gain the right amount of weight that is required to keep this baby healthy. And that's been my mindset this whole time. I'm moving my body. I'm eating good food. I do have snacks and treats because we're human and I have cravings. But you know, like I'm really, really listening to my body, listening to what I need. I'm making a conscious effort to stay active. So, you know, going for walks every day, getting my steps in. One thing I have changed up this week is, because I'm 20 weeks now, is I've changed up my movement. So I was following like a weights program, and it wasn't tailored for pregnancy, and I was still doing jump squats last week, and I was like, this probably isn't great. So, and I was finding that was causing me to like lose motivation. So what I did instead is I ended up buying a pregnancy program, fitness program that was written with a women's health physio. So there's heaps of like pelvic floor every day, breathing every day, stuff like that. And I did the first workout yesterday, and far out, it was a ripper. My bum is so sore, my glutes. But yeah, so just modifying things as I go, listening to my body. What do I need? And trialing different things to find the things that feel right. But yeah, if you have any questions about my first trimester experience or what I did to, like I said, manage the mindset stuff, feel free to send me a message or drop a comment. And the next video will be Brad's reaction video, which I'm excited to share. Bye.